What's up, guys? It's NFL Week 5, and we're taking a first look at FanDuel. We're going to go over the salaries. We're going to go over the positions. We'll go position by position, see who stands out, who's a bargain, what games are exciting. So let's jump right into this. My name's Kevin Allen, a.k.a. the Geek from DFS Army, and this is my favorite part of the week. Early in the week, we get to give our first glance at the FanDuel salaries, what's going on. I have to mention, even before we break it all down, that FanDuel has brought back. I've been talking on the show about this contest that FanDuel's putting out. You can tell what it is where it says top 50% paid. It's the NFL Rush. And once again, FanDuel, although it slid a little bit less free money in there, but they're continuing to give this free overlay contest on FanDuel. It is crazy. If you're not playing in this, okay, you're crazy. 210,000 times $3 is 630,000, right? But this contest has 700,000 in prizes. What does that mean? That means that instead of taking a VIG of 16%, like every other contest on their site, so normally a $600,000 contest, they would pull 100,000 and only pay out 5. Instead, they're paying out 7. So they've added effectively $200,000 worth of free money to this contest. If you're not attacking it, you're freaking nuts. Now, Kevin, I don't play $3 contests, $450. I get it. Not everybody's loading up on that. They did another one in the quarter game. Reserve it now. 25-cent entry. Okay, 500,000 entrants. So I'm just going to do the math. That's $125,000 worth of entry fees. And they're paying out $150,000. So once again, no VIG being taken here whatsoever. And they've added $25,000 to what is a 125. So a massive add to the price pool here. Reserve this now. Top 60% paid. This is as good of a contest as I've seen in DFS. I've been around DFS since it first started in 2011. This is as good as it gets outside of, there used to be actual overlay back in the day where contests would not fill. That never happens anymore. This is the closest thing to it. So kudos to FanDuel. Your marketing is successful. You've got me interested in your site once again. I have fought past the I'm not a human because I need to enter these contests each week. They're super profitable. Take a look. I mentioned this last week on the show. We had Guru Jr. here, 8th and 10th place in that exact contest, the Rush. We had other members, Flying Hawks, and who was one more? I felt like, there was a second one. We had other subs crushing in these contests as well, but two in the top 10 here for Guru Jr. You're going to see those DFS Army helmets all over the leaderboard in these contests this week, and yours should be too. Do not ignore this. That's the best DFS contest every single week. That is where I'm focusing my entries this week. And as a bonus, Bobby Wow here at DFS Army putting out his cheat sheet and a special VIP-only GPP breakdown for FanDuel each week. There's no reason not to attack that with the Domination Station Optimizer. All right, let's take a quick look at the game tiles, and you'll see that a lot of the game tiles for NFL Week, a lot of these games are competitive and look pretty good on paper. I'll just go through a few of them because I've done this already on the DraftKings first look, but, Bills at the Texans. I mean, love the Bills side of it. Love the Texans. Love everything about this game. What's not to like? 47.5 point total, super close. Bills favored. Interesting, right? Bengals at home against the Ravens, 50.5 point total. That's a big total. There's a lot of history between these two teams, division rivals. But that total, that close spread, I mean, these are games we want to target this week. Colts at the Jaguars, 46 point total. I love this game if Joe Flacco plays. I don't know if Joe Flacco is going to play. If Richardson's back, I like it a lot less. But on the Colts side, there are wide receivers I'd be very excited to use with Flacco. And maybe is this finally the game? I mean, the Colts defense has been terrible. Is this finally the game where Trevor Lawrence can get his shit together? We'll find out. Cardinals at San Francisco, 49.5 point total. San Francisco, 28.5 point team total. That implies 4 touchdowns for the 49ers in this game. That's a lot of tutties. A lot of tutties to go around. Somebody's getting the tutties. Who's going to get them? We'll have to take a look. Cardinals on the road. You know what? I've seen them get it done against the 49ers too at the 40. These are division rivalry. We don't have to be scared of that 49ers defense. So lots to like here in this game. And also, Love this game. Packers at the Rams. Packers are en fuego right now. Their offense just looks good. Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, everybody's cheap. Or actually, we'll see. We'll find out. I don't know about Reed. Reed's expensive, but underpriced pieces in this game across the board. Kyron Williams. So lots to like there as well. I guess finally, I kind of like the Seattle team total as well, 24.75. So the Seattle side of this Giants at Seattle game, interesting. And even maybe on the Giants, but probably not. Probably Seattle side. Be interesting. Now, reminder, what are the fundamentals of FanDuel? We want quality QBs that are going to give us points. We want touchdown scorers across the board. That's the key. So we're always going to play a running back in the flex on FanDuel. Touchdowns are at a premium on this site. And now they've added in little bonuses for 100 yards that have kind of made it a little more similar to DraftKings than it used to be. But it's sharpened up FanDuel just a smidge compared to what it was. With that being said, though, the fundamentals are still in play. We still want running backs in the flex. So let's jump right in to the position groups and take a look at the salaries and see who stands out. So at the very, very top, of course, Josh Allen's a smash play at Houston. I love him this week. And at 9,300, sure, great, right? We could pay all the way up for this quarterback who's probably going to get us, 27 plus fantasy points, all good. I think it's a bit of a cop-out to play him, but in the first look, because it's too easy. But I think that Josh Allen is pretty comfortably going to be the cash quarterback for NFL Week 5 on FanDuel. So keep that in mind, and I don't mind plugging him in and just moving on. He's the man. Lamar Jackson, 8,800, also good spot at Cincinnati. Don't mind it, high total game. As long as Cincinnati's making a game of it, Lamar could get it going, so no problem there. Of course, with Lamar, you're much more concerned about his running back taking the fantasy production. Derrick Henry has been the man, so you definitely don't want him and Henry in the same lineup together. Jaden Daniels smashing right now. I don't think I need to play him. Like, these guys are too close to Josh Allen's price to really get me overly excited about, I'm not saving that much, but obviously I love what Jaden Daniels is doing this year. He's already elevated to QB2 overall in Dynasty. So, like, if you're starting a Dynasty franchise and you can't get Josh Allen, you're taking Jaden Daniels. He's only 4 games into his career. Amazing. He looks like the real deal. I love him. I want to get it out there. I said it. I mean it. Jaden Daniels is the man. CJ Stroud, sure, at Buffalo, certainly could pop. Jordan Love went off last week, right? 34 fantasy points. That's a nut production for Jordan Love. We didn't even know if he was going to play last week. He's the man too. Love, Stroud. I love this young crop of quarterbacks on the upswing, looking good, going to be studs in the NFL for the next 10 years. So Jordan Love is great. I don't mind starting a lineup with him. Again, the matchup is not bad at all against the Rams. Most importantly, the Packers don't have a dominant run game. So once again, those touchdowns come off the arm of the quarterback. That is something we're looking for. Prescott at this price is a no for me. Baltimore at Cincinnati. I don't really like Joe Burrow against a good defense, so I'm probably avoiding that. Not enough savings here. We'll talk about some possible quarterbacks, but we got to get a little lower in the salary. Give us enough gap to, get a player with that money we're saving. Brock Purdy is not the worst play in the world. I don't mind it. I don't think he's going to smash or anything, but, he's playable here at this price. Fields coming off a really big game as well. I don't have any issue with going back to Fields. He's been really good as the starter. This matchup is not scary really at all against Dallas. Dallas has not been the best defense, even at home. On the road, even less good. So, I don't mind playing Fields. I don't necessarily think it's the greatest game environment, but I don't mind it. Murray at San Francisco, probably not how I want to go. Geno Smith, though. Geno looked really good last week. Will they need him? I doubt it. Again, this is Giants at Seattle, so this is one of those games, a little mysterious, but, I'm not building around Geno. Caleb Williams in a great home matchup. My concern here is, again, like last week, he can't be trusted. Caleb Williams effectively cannot be trusted. He's not looked great. He looked good last week, I thought. I thought he looked good. He continues to get better each week. I think Caleb is going to be something in this league. I'm not disappointed in him. I think he'll be something. I don't know about this spot. And again, Dalton, we've been riding the Dalton train for the last couple weeks. It was great week 1. It was fine week 2, but nothing special. The salary is still pretty good. But I don't really like targeting Chicago at all. They're not a defense to target. So here's where it gets a little crazy. There are some plays down at 7K or below that I think are playable. I'm gonna mention Trevor Lawrence. He has not had a good game this year. He's been pretty terrible. Not anything real positive to say about these kind of results. I don't like the coaching. I don't like anything. But if he's ever going to pop off, it should be in this game against the Colts. They're not very good. Similarly, Cleveland gets the nut matchup against Washington defense. Yes, they looked okay last week against Arizona, but I don't care. They're not a good defense. They've been giving up points like crazy. Deshaun Watson, not a very good quarterback. He's terrible. So certainly have my concerns there. But like GPP, Millie Maker nonsense. Deshaun Watson, all right, I guess. Joe Flacco, if he starts, would be the guy I would build around this week. So here's the deal. If we get a Joe Flacco start, and it's way too early to know if that's going to happen, I'm leaning probably not. But if we do get a Flacco start this week, I love Flacco, especially on here on FanDuel. Pittman, Downs, all crazy inexpensive, all really good plays, all very much something I'd want to be doing. But if it's Richardson, what's Richardson price? 70. You know what? I might be interested in Richardson too. I think I'm interested, but much more interested if it's Joe Flacco. After that, there's really nothing too exciting here. So for our starting QB, let's see, who we're going to roll with. I was thinking about going with Fields, but I think we can go Jordan Love, right? At the Rams, high total game, plenty of options this week. Like I said, plenty of different ways to go. So if we go low, we're at least saving 1,000 off of Josh Allen, but certainly Josh Allen is probably my favorite of them all. So we'll see actually if we can afford it at the end, but I doubt it. All right, let's move on. Let's talk defense before we're going a little backwards here. We're going to talk defense, but before we do that, let me know who your favorite QB this week is for NFL Week 5 on FanDuel. Who are you starting your first lineup with? Who are you stacking in your first look lineup this week at the QB position? All right, and hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Don't forget to be subscribed to the channel here. We're doing video content nonstop. And of course, if you want to get involved at DFS Army, sign up. We have one last week of our VIP 50% off your first month of DFS Army VIP. We got that promo going. It is ending this week. So hockey, NHL starting. We've got MLB. Literally the intersection of all of the big sports is happening right now. It's that in a couple of weeks, we'll get that special moment where NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL are all going simultaneous. There's no better time. I mean, it's much better. It's much better than doing individual sports. Sign up for VIP. It's $45 for the 50% off deal. And you get everything we do at the FS Army. So make sure to check it out. And of course, the Bobby Wow VIP FanDuel breakdown and cheat sheet. That alone is worth all of it. Bobby Wow gave us Jaden Reed last week. Like, if you weren't, he smashed. He put a core play on Brian Robinson Jr. He smashed. He helped me make more money than the sub costs just by doing that. All right, getting into it. Let's talk defense first. And the reason I'm doing defense first, I like to see how much I have to spend. But defense, there are basically 3 defenses that I think are super viable this week, and one that I think can be played for very, very cheap. So at the very, very bottom here, if we need to just punt defense and we want to go Panthers for 3,100 against Chicago, I believe, will continue to make mistakes with the rookie QB, and the Panthers are looking a little better. I don't mind it. It's not a great spot, but I don't mind it. So Carolina, if we need to. But there are some good defenses. We're going to see how much they cost and see if it's worthwhile. Bengals, no. Cardinals, no. Rams, no. Commanders, maybe. Yes, right? Deshaun Watson, turnover machine. He sucks. So play the Commanders. Why not? So that's a second one at 3,500 playable. We got the Panthers, the Commanders. Now we're going to keep scrolling. Keep on moving. maybe the Jaguars, but probably not. But the next one, and I really like this play, is Denver. Denver's such a good defense. 4K facing Vegas. The Raiders are just a mess right now anyway. This will be on the road. Denver defense is nasty. They shut down every team so far. Now, have the turnovers been crazy good? No, but they're scoring well. 10.5 fantasy points per game. Denver defense 4K. So if I have the funds to go up from Carolina or Commanders, it's going to be Denver. But there's some other good defenses here that I don't mind. Patriots at home against Miami and whoever the hell they're rolling out at QB, very doable. Miami on the road against the Patriots, less exciting, but who the hell are the Patriots going to roll out at QB? By the way, if Drake May is starting for them, and I think he might be, I actually might have some interest in maybe taking a shot on Drake May if he's going to be stone min salary. Don't actually, where is Drake May priced? Let's see. Dreezy, 6K, stone min. So yeah, mild interest there as well. If they start him, don't know yet. Haven't heard. It's pure speculation. Where was I? Defense. Oh, yeah. Patriots. Miami. Raiders, no. No. Yeah, maybe no. Bills at Houston, no. Ravens at Cincinnati. Isn't it funny that the price goes up here? But I'm not super interested in any of these guys. Bears, okay. Packers, meh. Seattle at the Giants, I guess it's fine. And 49ers at home. So, no, I think it's Denver. It's Patriots or the cheap ones. Those are the ones that I'm going to be focused on this week. I'm going to leave Denver in here, but I do not mind just going punting all the way down to Carolina as well and just punting it. So if we need the money, we're going to grab an extra 900 at the end of this video, and I'm probably going to end up doing it because I always want to spend that money. All right, let's jump to the running back position, the most important position on FanDuel, and it is a tale of sort of expensive and cheap on FanDuel this week. I like to look at the value guys early week and like focus on those, but later in the week come around like I need my locked in touchdowns, right? So that will happen later in the week, but right now I'm going to point out some studs that look really good and some low priced running backs that could get it done for us on FanDuel at a low cost. There's a lot of value specifically available this week. I'm going to point that out as this video continues. And when you're watching that, it's like, I'm not saying put all value guys in your lineup or pull all these studs. I'm saying these value plays are what, pick the stud and be right. Like it's not, you don't even tell you play that Derrick Henry is good. He's good. He's fine. He's a good play. 9,200. I don't need to tell you to spend all that. I'm looking for the values against their salary. That's my prime thing. But Derrick Henry is a good play. He's got 2 weeks of insane scores here on DraftKings and 2 weeks of meh production. But if you didn't have Henry the last 2 weeks, you didn't win a tournament. So he's going to keep doing that. It's rare that they do that 3 weeks in a row. I feel it's a little chasey, but this is certainly a good enough matchup for Derrick Henry. I prefer him at home. I prefer him favored. Like there's other things that I would like more about Derrick Henry, but this is fine. Jordan Mason, also same deal. He's a little spendy for the production that he's been getting, but it's not bad. I mean, 27. So on FanDuel, he needs about a 27, and that's about what he's been scoring. He's getting all the carries. Even at this price, it's not a terrible play on FanDuel. Kyron Williams has been getting it done as well. Tons and tons of volume with all those wide receivers hurt for the Rams. I don't mind it. James Cook here, not as crazy about that at 8,200 on DraftKings. Not enough of a touchdown scorer. Joe Mixon with the Q tag. I don't like that. James Conner against San Francisco. Not super excited. Achane is off the. He's done for me until Miami gets their QB situation figured out. A, this game is garbage, but B, he's just not. He's done for me. They got to get their stuff figured out before we go back to Achane. So that's a no. Brian Robinson Jr., okay. As long as Eckler remains out, I think Robinson Jr. is seeing elevated targets, although elevated targets and just touches. But, it is noteworthy. They brought in another guy last week who also did really well. Jeremy McNuckles. It was. So Robinson did not get all of the touches for his team, but he still got, 25 opportunities for the high-flying team that he has. So I don't mind Brian Robinson, but My first play this week is going to be Kenneth Walker III, right? And I don't know why he's at this price on FanDuel. He's more expensive on DraftKings. He's like a better FanDuel play. But Kenny Dobbs, it's the perfect matchup. The defense is playable. He's scored 20 and 31 in his 2 starts so far this year, 7,400. This is a core play. This is a core play. What stops him? I don't know. This is a core play for me. I'll have a ton of Kenny Walker this week. Travis Etienne, playable, but not something I'm excited about. Josh Jacobs, same. Playable, but not something. Where's the volume for Jacobs? It's just not there. It's just not there. I don't know who's getting it. They just want to throw the football. I definitely wouldn't play Jacobs with Jordan Love, but the volume hasn't been there. Chuba Hubbard, playable. Now, Chuba Hubbard is getting all of the volume here, and it's consistent. Now, this goes aside if they activate Brooks off the bench or whatever. But as of right now, 26 touches 2 weeks ago, another 22 touches last week against Cincinnati. This is a tougher matchup for the defense, in terms of the Chicago defense being pretty good. But so what? Now, it's a low scoring. There's a lot of negatives here. But again, so what? It's still a full blast defense, a full workhorse running back on a team where it's going to get a lot of looks. The defense is playable. I don't mind pairing Chuba up with Panthers defense here against the Chicago team that turns it over a lot. So he should have opportunities by the goal line. He just should. Another name I don't mind here is Ramondre. That's right. Can't forget about the Dre. Patriots are favored in this game. Ramondre does well in games where his team's favored. It's that simple. So Ramondre could score a touchdown. I don't mind that one bit. 6,700. It's a great price. If we're paying down for some of these spots, we're going to have a lot more to spend elsewhere. So there's one more, though, that I really I want to emphasize, but we'll talk through some of the rest of them. Zach Moss is a no. Najee Harris, I almost feel like never again after last week. Like, I just don't. This guy never gets it done. It's gross. Enough with Najee. Enough. Bring on Jalen Warren. I'm sick of it. DeAndre Swift, monster game last week. No one likes the Swizz, the D-Swizz. But you know what? What if this wasn't a one-off? What if it keeps happening? I'm saying it probably won't, but what if it keeps happening? What a game. If they figured out, we should throw it to Swift and look at how much damage he did. 72 yards on 7 targets, 7 receptions, 26 fantasy points. Do I trust it? No. Do I feel good about it? No. Is it scared the shit out of me? Yes. But could it work? Maybe. Right? So I don't mind Swift. He's in the mix. Had to mention it. Ford is probably a no. Get a little something done. The volume's not there for Ford. It's not. Somebody else is getting touches. Dante Foreman. It's a split. The team doesn't score anyway. So it's very sketchy. Will he be in my mix? Maybe. Cam Akers is dead to me. He just stinks, right? Like, he got all the opportunities in the world. Hasn't been able to do anything. He's terrible. And I think Mixon should at some point be back. Devin Singletary, a.k.a. D-Sizzles, playable at 6,200. He's not going to have good games when the Giants are losing, but when the Giants are competitive, he gets decent scores, 6,200, 612, 18. So I think he can get you there. It's not my favorite. He's not a sexy, exciting play, but Devin Singletary in the mix this week. And finally, one more name. There's a couple others. Listen, Javonte Williams, actually. Denver is finally favored for once. So there are a lot of low-cost running backs. Javonte Williams. Do I love Javonte? No. Has he had a history of big games? Absolutely not. Could this be the time when they finally have a decent matchup against where you could play Denver defense and Javonte together at no ownership? Yes. I know it's gross. You guys are probably thumbs downing this video. I'm sorry. I'm mentioning names that at the beginning of the week, you're thinking these guys stink. Why are you talking about Javonte Williams? Fuck Javonte Williams. Let's be real. But situational football. Denver gonna keep it close, low scoring. Vegas, terrible defense. Probably Bo Nix is gonna have his best game ever, and that should lead to potential touchdown opportunities for the running back. I don't mind it. I don't love it. I don't feel good clicking it, but I don't mind it. And the other one is Trey Sermon. Listen, is Trey Sermon good? I don't know. I'm leaning probably not. Does he have talent? Don't know. Leaning, probably not. But Jonathan Taylor's out, and he's going to get all the touches for the Colts, or most of the touches, or we think he's going to get most of the touches. And that's enough of a reason. A $5,900. See, understand this. A 6K running back, he needs to put up 20, and you're smashing. And running backs can put up 20. He could also put up 24. Like he can match what the 8K guy does. But for 6K. So what ends up happening in that lineup, if I play the 6K guy and he does what he's supposed to do, I end up with more of Nico Collins, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf, these stud wide receivers that are touchdown scorers, right? And it increases my odds, if these hit, that the rest of my lineup is going to smash. Because, yeah, is it less likely that Chuba Hubbard outscores, Derrick Henry? Sure. That's why Derrick Henry's priced up. Or Jordan Mason? Yeah. Those guys are priced up for good reason, and Kyron. But if they do it, if they match the scores of these guys for cheap, I wind up with all these stud wide receivers. Now, we don't have to only play value running backs this week, because there are some crazy values at the wide receiver position as well. We will get to that in a second, though. Let's do tight end. Remember, like, subscribe, notification bell, and tell me who your running back trio is on FanDuel for NFL Week 5. Who are you going with? Yeah, do you like a bargain? Do you like a low cost running back? Are you a bargain hunter at the RB position on FanDuel? Are you just saying, no, I want to play the studs, I want to lock in this points, and I'll just punt the wide receivers? And oh, by the way, there are great punt wide receivers available this week, so nothing wrong with that. All right, let's move on. We'll talk about some of these tight ends. Tight end position is a little barren this week. I don't know. It's the best way I'd call it. Like, it's kind of a little barren, a little sketch, a little barren. Very top, George Kittle, 7K. Fine. Kittle gets it done most weeks, averaging 12 fantasy points. That's a lot to pay for George Kittle in a game where they may or may not need him. I don't know. They should need him, actually, against Arizona. But with all the wide receivers healthy right now for the 49ers, I like Kittle a lot more when somebody's out for the team and no one's out. Trey McBride coming off the concussion. I imagine he'll be back this week. He missed a week already, and usually it's a 1 week thing with concussions. I don't mind going to McBride at 6,500. He's getting plenty of targets. Brock Bowers against Denver. Avoid anyone against Denver. Ferguson against Pittsburgh. Also, Pittsburgh's kind of one of those teams I'm not really looking to use players against, but Ferguson always gets targets in this offense, so I don't mind him. And I actually tend to like tight ends against better defenses at times, especially a defense like Pittsburgh, where they have an elite cornerback that's kind of going to slow down the opponent's WR1. So maybe. Dalton Kincaid, yeah, playable. Hasn't done a whole lot, averaging 6.5 fantasy points per game here. Nothing special. Mark Andrews, can he finally get it done? Probably not. But it is noteworthy with Andrews. We're all sick of Andrews. Fuck Andrews. He sucks. 1 target this week. 1 target. How is that possible? Well, it is noteworthy, I guess, if I need to have one little thing to say about it. It's just he only got 1 target, but in the last 2 weeks, but Lamar only threw 15 passes against Dallas and only 18 against Buffalo. So Lamar's not exactly throwing a ton in these games. They're just winning it with their defense. I don't even know how they're winning those games. But, do I trust Mark Andrews? No. Do I even trust him in a big GPP? Only minimally, but I'll probably have a little bit. Njoku, I don't know if he's going to play. Likely is like Andrews, but worse. Evan Ingram probably not going to play, or we don't know. It's too early. No practice reports as of yet, so I don't know. A lot of the tight ends just not that great. Nothing really stands out here. I think, for example, Hunter Henry, if Drake May is playing, might be interesting. But I kind of like Cole Kmet down here at 5,200 as an interesting play. Obviously, the Panthers allowing a ton of points to opposing tight ends. I don't mind this game, and I don't mind Cole Kmet as a punt of the tight end position. Same note, if I wanted to pair something up with Jordan Love, I think the Tucker Kraft is acceptable. He got 9 targets last week. I wouldn't expect that most of the time. He's usually going to give you a 2 or 3, like a shitty score, but you never know. Who else? Let's see. Parkinson, Ertz, okay. definitely not much to like beyond that. So we'll plug Cole Kmet in here and go from there. So again, I've put a bunch of players in here, including a ultra bargain running back, interchangeable with Javonte Williams, pretty much. Cole Kmet, a low cost tight end, had a big game or two so far this year, so fine. Kenny Walker, I think, is the value of the slate. Chuba Hubbard, also a lot of value there. And we've got Jordan Love in there at the QB position. Can go a lot of ways, though. Can switch off of Love here and go to Allen, and then I can stack him up with like a Khalil Shakir or even a Dalton Kincaid to switch up a few things. Or if we keep Jordan Love in here, we want to get him stacked up. So we'll talk about his wide receivers. Of course, it's Jaden Reed priced up a little bit, 7,200, worth it. And then Dontavian Wicks, who is one of the bargains of this slate. But let's just go through the whole wide receiver position group because I want to really emphasize that it is a tale of high and low, and there's a lot of goodness at the high end and at the low end. So, of course, CeeDee Lamb is in play every single week. There's no reason to ever fear CeeDee Lamb. He's the man. He has not gotten it done so far this year. The great games will come. He'll have his 30 and 40-point games. Haven't happened yet. They're coming. Jamar Chase, same thing. Coming off a monster game a couple weeks ago. Didn't need him as much at Carolina last week for whatever reason, but he will continue to have those big games on occasion. Nico Collins, though. Nico Collins is so consistent. Take a look at his consistent 30, 26, 17. So almost 20 in that week. And he was closer to 7K at that time. So Nico Collins gets the big price hike up into the big dog zone, 8,800, and also very much a playable spot for Nico. Tyreek Hill probably not in play until Miami gets their QB situation figured out. DK Metcalf at 8,200, man, that is impressive, right? It's going up. His salary has gone up and probably worth it, averaging 17 FanDuel points per game. Malik Neighbors has been great. Deebo Samuel, very playable at 8K. So a lot of really good spots here. Deebo Samuel, Steph Diggs, 7,600. Marvin Harrison, 74. Jaden Reed, pair him up with our quarterback. Now, Deontay's gotten priced up all the way to 7,100. He'll get peppered with targets as well. He'll get peppered with targets. But he's not as much of a touchdown scorer as you'd like to see. So I don't mind it, but I probably kind of prefer doing a little something different with my pay up wide receivers. But let's continue on. I want to kind of talk through a lot of these little spots. Devontae Adams, not sure what's going on with him. Requesting a trade. I don't trust the hamstring or any of this. So I'd stay away from that for now. Zay Flowers, playable in a Lamar Jackson lineup, much more than a standalone play. T. Higgins is overpriced for his production. Brandon Ayuk can pop. He's a GPP only. But again, pay attention. The fantasy points per game numbers, they're relevant. This guy's just not getting it done right now. Doesn't mean he won't. He can pop off at any time. He's got that same chance of delivering us a 3 or 4x salary performance as he ever does. But the floor is really low right now for Ayuk. They're just not targeting him all that much. McLaurin, for me, remains somebody that I primarily want to pair with his quarterback because if he's smashing, Jaden Daniels is probably smashing. Waddle's a no for me for right now. DJ Moore at this price, 6,400 against Carolina, very playable. Now, he hasn't really gotten it done, but he's very playable. I'm not going to put him in this lineup because we have like more salary to play with, but he's usable. Brian Thomas Jr., also having a pretty good rookie season so far. A couple of big games, coming off a big one, especially last week. 9 targets the week before. They're realizing they got to throw it to Brian Thomas. They threw it a ton of times. I like this Jacksonville offense. I'm telling you, even Trevor Lawrence might pique my interest. Similarly, Amari Cooper, 6,200. Now, you might be saying, Amari Cooper burns me. I'm sick of this guy. Here's the deal with Amari Cooper, and you got to know what you're getting into. I've had him on a lot of my dynasty teams for years. I've played him DFS for years. Amari Cooper is a player who will win you the tournament 25% of the time. Like, that's been his career. He just produces a smash game once every 4 or 5 games. But the floor when he's not doing that tends to be fairly low. So if he's not doing that, he burns you. Like last week, he, one pass one holding call was the difference. He had a 70-yard touchdown. If you added that into what he was doing here, that would have been 100 yards, a bonus, another reception, 5, another reception. So we would have gotten 13 plus 5, 18 plus that touchdown, 20, 24. So if it's no holding call, he puts up a 24-25 last week, and we're all loading up on him this week. It's another good matchup. I love Amari Cooper this week. Will he get it? I don't know. Sometimes you get the bad Deshaun Watson. It's usually you get the bad Deshaun Watson. He stinks. But when he gets it done, he gets it done for 4 or 5 or 6x the salary. So I don't mind it. I'm putting Amari Cooper in there. Tyler Lockett is fine. K-Shaq's playable at this price, but he's also very much a stack with Josh Allen piece. He's gotten close to 4xing the salary at least once already. So that's what you're looking for. Wan'Dale, not priced up. I think it's fine, especially if Malik Neighbors is out. Christian Kirk, another one. This Jacksonville game, I'm looking to target the Jacksonville offense in this game pretty much as I can. I just like what's coming out of this game. If Flacco plays, Pittman and Downs are both going to be amazing plays. If Flacco doesn't play, they're still okay, but I like it less. Have to mention that Xavier Legette had a big game last week, 10 targets. If Andy Dalton's the QB again, and he will be, I don't mind Legette at 6K here. Fine. George Pickens, fine. One other name I wanted to make sure I got to here, Dontavian Wicks, 12 targets last week, only 5 receptions. Don't like that inefficiency, but he put up a monster score, and he ties in nicely with our quarterback here. So if we just were to stop right here, we'd have a pretty sweet double stack here with Jordan Love, Wicks, and Reed. Amari Cooper, kind of an easy 4x kind of player if he hits. Bargain running back, bargain tight end, value running back. And we got 3,200. I can just literally now swap in whoever I want. I could just go all the way up to Mason if I wanted to here. I could switch this however we like. Javonte Williams. So this is a really flexible build. And I want you guys to practice this. If you're just kind of looking at your build, practice it. Like, all right, this is one version, but what if I did a Josh Allen lineup? Okay, well, I put Josh Allen in there. Still have plenty of salary left over. Can I get to Dalton Kincaid? Yes. So how about, there we go. Still have 1,200 left to spend somewhere else. So how about an Allen Kincaid lineup with 1,200 left to spend? You want to double stack him? We can add in Khalil Shakir. Still have some salary left over to improve one of these running back spots. So, one of the things I do when I'm handcrafting, and I do this on Players Club each week, is, we do kind of one main build and then switch things around a little bit, but keep bringing back the same build, change the QB stack, right? Then maybe change a couple of the other secondary pieces. Boom, that's your next lineup. Boom. So if you're handcrafting lineups, that's a great way. That's how I like to do it. Again, reminder, FanDuel, amazing contest. You're probably going to need to reserve them before Sunday. They will sell out, especially that quarter game. If you're going to max it, I suggest reserving those entries right now. If you don't know how to edit or use the Domination Station optimizer to create lineups and then edit existing reserved lineups, we have videos for that on the DFS Army basic training page on the DFS Army website. Let me show you where that is, by the way. If you go to the DFS Army website and the NFL homepage, we have something called basic training down here in the content matrix. So this shows all the content we do each and every week for NFL. It's all right there. And you could just go to the basic training page, which is the second link right up top, basic training tutorials. And it has all of our tutorials there. So if you're a DFS Army subscriber, you can check that. Or if you're not, you could still check out the tutorials. Why not? Right? You could check those out. So that's going to do it for NFL Week 5, the FanDuel first look lineup. Good luck this week, everyone. We will be back here on the DFS Army channel with the Showdown breakdown on Wednesday and, of course, Tournament Tactics on Friday. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell. I will see you guys next time. Good luck this week.